Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is forever, forever. It is February 16th, 2021. And today the topic is the unjust balance. Whew. Well, y'all, here we are. I guess to let you guys know real quick how I got to the topic for today, I woke up at the sound of my alarm and um, I pretty much got up, not like on the dot, but like kind of sort of. Um, got up, came on in here, had a moment or two, and then I did my prayer and meditation and whatnot. Um, I guess the prayer and meditation was just kind of like a reminder that, God is not hidden and everything like that. But I mean, I'll be honest and say I was a little bit distracted during it. I was thinking about everything. I would say a bunch of random stuff. But so after it was done, I wanted to make sure I just really listened and whatnot. So I just prayed, and then after that, I just kind of sat there and waited. um, then the word balance came into my mind, and I was like, okay. So I started looking up the Bible verses centered around balance. And next thing I know, I started those Bible verses. I started to notice that a certain phrase kept seeing a certain phrase basically, which is adjust balance. It's mentioned repeatedly throughout the different Bible verses. I was like, okay, adjust balance. All right, all right. Um, so then of course, I looked up the definitions of just and then balance and all of that, and yeah, I mean, and as I did after I did that, went back and um, wrote down the verses that were standing out to me and everything like that. And I decided to go a little bit deeper just to be like, all right, well, I think I'm on the path here. I think I'm on the right track about, whatever you're trying to show me, Lord. But let me just go a little bit deeper. And then when I went deeper, I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. So you will see, I guess, momentarily when I share all of this with you. But that's basically where the topic came from today. I see that Miss Sherry Rose is tuned in again this morning. So good morning, Miss Sherry. Yeah, I get up at 4 a.m. every morning to do this. Try to have this out by 6 or the podcast at least. So that's what I'm doing here. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And you're early warm too, apparently. But here we go, y'all. An unjust or the unjust balance. So when I looked up the definition of balance, I found the first one said an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. And then the second definition of balance said a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. And then the word just, the definition says, based on or behaving accordingly to what is morally right and fair. I'm like, all of that sounds good to me. um, so let's see what the Bible has to say. So Leviticus 19:36 says, you shall have just balances, just weights, a just ephah. I don't know if I'm saying ephah, a just ephah, and a just hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. So when I looked up ephah, for those of you, I guess maybe like me, when I first looked at the word, I'm like, what does this mean? So that definition says an ancient Hebrew dry measure equivalent to a bushel. And then the word hin, Hin, means a Hebrew unit of liquid capacity equal approximately 5.5 quarts. So now knowing this, knowing ephah and hin, and I look back and knowing what just and balance mean and everything like that. I mean, I guess that verse is pretty much saying to me now. I don't know what it's saying to you, but I mean, it's saying to me that we are to have just balances, like on all counts, whether we measure in the dry or the liquid or whatever the case is. We should have just balances. And I mean, well, obviously, uh this verse is also reminding us that, or reminding the, I guess, Israelites at that time that, he brought them out of Egypt, X, Y, and Z, that he is the Lord our God. So that's just that first verse. Let's go and see what the second one says. So that's Proverbs 16 and 11. It says, a just balance and scales are the Lord's, all the weights in the bag are his work. Okay, so uh but on the flip side, we got Proverbs 11 and 1, and it says, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So I'm like, again, I guess after looking up the definitions and everything, I just was like, okay, I'm seeing something here, Lord. Okay, just balances. You like that? You don't like unjust balance. Okay, cool. Um, I was like, all right, you want me to say that this morning? All right, cool. um, but I don't know. I guess something about it just made me want to, um, like I said, go deeper a little bit. I'm just like, um, I mean, not that I didn't understand just or balance or any of that, but I mean, like, something about it just made me be like, okay, well, what else are you saying here, Lord? Like, I mean, what are you trying to point out about balances? I know I've heard some ministers, if you say, speak in the past about, putting things on the balance, seeing what they weigh, which one is, when it comes to making decisions and stuff like that, really praying about it and seeing, like, on the scales, which way does it go, and that type of vibe. And so I guess I understood that much at least. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, what else are you saying to me here, Lord? So as I looked up, um, I think I started to look up unjust balances, if I'm not mistaken. And this is where we got this is where we got a little bit like, all right, Lord, here we go with this stuff. Like, I wasn't even intending on talking about none of this stuff today. But so I came across a term called both sidesism. That's what it looks like, though. It's like all one word, though, but it looks like both sidesism. Um, Now I don't know if there's a real definition for this word, because as I was looking, I kept trying to find a definite. When I looked up a definition, I found what I'm going to read to you, but it's not like, I think this is something that was on Wikipedia. Um, so I don't know if this is like a Webster definition, like, or I did try to look on dictionary.com and I didn't necessarily see it. So I don't know about all of that. Okay. But I'm just going to share with you what I found here, and then, you guys can just let that marinate on your heart, souls, and minds this morning. So I found, it says here, false balance, uh, also both sidesism, is a media bias in which journalists present an issue as being more balanced between opposing viewpoints than the evidence supports. False balance has been cited as a major cause of spreading misinformation. I was like, oh Lord, here we go. Like, but at the same time, not that I'm trying to get into the politics conversation at this moment, but I mean, for anybody else's, who was out here. And I don't know about you, Miss Cherry, or whoever just tuned in. Y'all let me know what y'all have observed. But to me, as I read that this morning, I just was like, you know what? This is like totally what's going on right now. Like this, even though I don't, again, necessarily want to sit here and talk about politics and talk about what I think about all of this stuff. I just thought it was very interesting that my little random thought of balance led me to that, which is like a clear, in my humble opinion, it's a clear thing that's going on right now, especially in the media. Um, so I just, I mean, well, obviously, we see here what it says about false balances and just balances and what God feels about it. And it seems like he likes in the just balances and he don't like the unjust balances. And so I guess again, my open prayer is that, well, Lord, hey, take control. I mean, obviously he's in control of all things, but I'm just saying, like, you know how you just want stuff to happen on your time, man. You'd be like, come on, Lord, just go ahead and do that thing, and and make it all right. Um, I mean, I don't know. It's just something to think about when it comes to all of this, because again, for all of that to lead me to something that's literally happening in front, in front of my eyes. And maybe you guys could say, in my opinion, I guess it depends on your perspective, how you look at stuff. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't see it. But I mean, when I look at media or when I look at, things that are going on in the world today, I do see this unjust balance happening. Um, or this both sidesism, or whatever the case is. So I don't know if it encourages you to hear about this today. But I mean, I guess one thing that should encourage you is knowing that, okay, at the end of the day, God, delights in a just balance. So, he does not delight in unjust balances. So I guess if there are unjust balances, then I mean, perhaps he's going to make it all just on his time. Miss Cherry say she totally agree. It's okay. So I'm not the only one out here. Look, two or more. But I guess I'm not the only one out here seeing that this is going on. But that's just something to think about today, y'all. Y'all can go deeper with it and check out the two verses I have in the go deeper section about this topic of the unjust balance. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is just the time to just watch and pray and just trust God that, again, all things will be revealed, and perhaps, they'll stop when I say they'll, God will, stop the whole tipping of the balances and whatever the case or whatever's going on in regards to the unjust balance. So that is the juice for today. But I got here the Bible verse of today, and that is Psalms 40 and 1. Excuse me, Psalms 40, 1 and 2. It says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, with the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in, Miss Cherry. Yep, this is just daily inspiration. I guess something to start our day in the morning or whatever. But yeah, I found that quite interesting, right? Crazy. All from the word balance. And then that's the thing, it's like people doubt God or people don't believe. Um, and it's not that I'm just out here just, you know what I mean? And I think that's why I share my process, just to let people know that, hey, God can talk to you too. Like, just listen. And I know it can be random the way I come to these random topics, but it's crazy how all the time it fits together. And then there's a word for like all the topics that I've had. I've been doing this since April of last year. April 1st is when I started last year. And with the exception of Sundays, I've been doing this like every day. And I think I might have missed 2 days. Um, there was like 2 days that I didn't do it. But since last April, I've been doing this. And every day God is giving me something to talk about. And then every day there's Bible to back it up. And then every day it just fits with whatever's going on. So I mean, it's I mean, it's crazy to me sometimes, but like I said, that was crazy for me to find that whole thing about both sidesism and all that. And I'm like, oh Lord, here we go talking about exactly what's going on in the media right now. But I mean, um, but some people see it and some don't, and that's the scary thing to me. Like, that's the thing that's like bothers me sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, how can you not see? But at the same time, the Bible says something about that. People that don't see, they have the scales over their eyes, and they just don't want to see, or whatever the case is. And I mean, I guess all we can do is just pray for them and pray about the situation and just all of that. So that's what's going on my end. Thanks for tuning in. Let me see. He said, "Let's say you thank you." I think you need to look at it from both. Yep, the right and the wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the interesting thing too, because when I was I think when I named it, I was going to say a just balance, but then next thing I know, the unjust balance kind of stood out more so, and I was like, all right, well, let's go with that. But yeah, it did make me kind of like look at both, because a just balance was like repeated so much, but then it also showed like what unjust meant, or um, or how God feels about unjust balances as well. So I was like, all right, Lord, I guess it's pretty clear what you feel about the good balances or balances that are, just balances, but looking up that unjust got me going into exactly what's going on here. Like, oh, so basically it's just the media bias. Oh, okay. Well, great, Lord. Thanks. Let's talk about that today. But anyway, I get to sit here and talk for a while. So I mean, I won't hold you up. I'm sure you have other things to do. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Anybody that listens to the sound of my voice this morning, I hope that this encourages you this morning. And that you decide to go deeper and check out these other verses in the go deeper section and all of that. Well, y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye.